Hello guys, welcome to part 3 of What If I Reincarnated as Yamamoto Genryusai in Naruto, and saved the Uzumaki clan. What more threats will Uzumaki Kagetsuchi face? Is the Uzumaki clan truly saved? What of Konoha's and other nations' reactions? What conspiracies will he uncover? Find out in this next part. And if you like my videos, give this one a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and that naughty bell. I'm the Sensei signing in.
Never tell a fact that I never stay running. Sipping on facts, damn, no, I got stacks to the left, taking bitches straight for another cat.
Kagetsuchi turned to the first elder and said, "Bring me all the ninjas you have captured." Upon receiving orders from Kagetsuchi, the first elder, accompanied by some elite jonins, proceeded to retrieve the prisoners. After a wait of 15 minutes, the first elder returned with approximately 30 prisoners who had been captured. "Let's select one ninja from each village who has witnessed the entirety of the battle," suggested Kagetsuchi. Following Kagetsuchi's instructions, the first elder proceeded to carefully select one ninja from each of the major villages who had witnessed the entire battle. After a thorough evaluation, he presented the weakest among them to Kagetsuchi. In a cold and unflinching tone, Kagetsuchi ordered, "Execute the remaining prisoners." Sakumo had initially believed that none of the Konoha ninjas would be targeted for execution. However, upon witnessing one of their own being selected while the remaining 7 were forced to kneel and face their impending demise, he could no longer remain silent. In a sudden outburst, he cried out, "Stop! What are you doing? Konoha and Uzumaki village are allies. You can't just kill your allies." With a firm and unyielding tone, Kagetsuchi responded, "You were the ones who broke the alliance first, so there's no point in pleading now." Sakumo was momentarily silenced by Kagetsuchi's words, but he could not stand by and watch his fellow villagers be executed before his eyes. "Unless you put an end to this, we will have no choice but to take action," warned Sakumo, drawing his short sword from its scabbard on his back. Seeing their captain's resolve, every Anbu member present followed suit and unsheathed their weapons, ready to fight to protect their own. With an air of confidence and arrogance, Kagetsuchi retorted, "Do your job. Let's see who can stop us." Firewall. Suddenly, a massive firewall appeared and encircled Kagetsuchi and all the Anbu members, effectively trapping them within its confines. Upon seeing the imposing firewall, Sakumo realized that there was no way out unless they could defeat Kagetsuchi and break through the barrier. "Unleash your full power and attack him with everything you have got. Our only chance of escaping this trap is by defeating him," declared Sakumo, urging his fellow Anbu members to give it their all in the battle ahead. With those words of encouragement, Sakumo transformed into a flash of white light and appeared directly in front of Kagetsuchi. He launched a swift strike aimed at the man's throat, but it was swiftly deflected by Kagetsuchi, who seemed more than capable of defending himself. "You're just a boy trying to compete in the art of swordsmanship, but you're too inexperienced for that," scoffed Kagetsuchi. As he spoke, a massive swarm of bugs began to surround him. However, as the swarm approached within a 50 centimeters radius of his body, the bugs were instantly incinerated. With a commanding voice, Sakumo called out, "Water release, water dragon bullet technique," and a colossal water dragon emerged, hurtling towards Kagetsuchi's location with fierce intensity. But Kagetsuchi was quick to respond, unleashing a massive fire dragon that was twice the size of the water dragon. The two dragons collided with a tremendous force, causing a massive explosion that sent shockwaves rippling through the surrounding area. As the two dragons collided, a massive cloud of steam enveloped the battlefield, causing the temperature to rise to unbearable levels due to the intense heat emanating from Kagetsuchi's fire dragon. The Anbu members tried to dodge the steam as best as they could, but the heat was too much for them to handle. Amid the chaos, Sakumo saw an opening and launched another attack on Kagetsuchi. However, once again, his strike was easily deflected by Kagetsuchi. Realizing the futility of their efforts to defeat Kagetsuchi, the deputy captain attempted to escape using the earth release tunneling technique. He quickly dug a tunnel underground and began to make his escape. However, as soon as he entered the tunnel, a massive burst of fire erupted from it, incinerating the deputy captain and dashing any hopes of escaping underground. The remaining Anbu members were left with no choice but to continue their attack on Kagetsuchi, hoping that they could find a way to defeat him before it was too late. "Shall we end this?" Kagetsuchi said calmly as his crutch transformed into a finely crafted katana with a purple handle, glinting menacingly in the light. After transforming his crutch into a katana, Kagetsuchi swiftly moved around the battlefield, cutting down each of the jonin with ease. Each time he struck, a massive burst of flames consumed the fallen ninja, leaving behind only ashes. Despite Sakumo's best efforts, he was unable to stop Kagetsuchi, and one by one, his team members fell to the ground, lifeless. The sense of despair within Sakumo grew stronger with each passing moment. Eventually, Kagetsuchi sheathed his katana, which reverted into a normal-looking crutch, and the flames surrounding them vanished. All of Sakumo's teammates were dead, and he was left alone with Kagetsuchi. "What are you waiting for? Didn't I tell you to execute all of them?" demanded Kagetsuchi, his gaze fixed on the elders. His words snapped the elders out of their stupor, and they swiftly carried out the executions of the captured ninjas. Kagetsuchi turned his attention to Sakumo, who was standing there silently, feeling a mix of anger and despair, after witnessing the death of his entire team. "What was his name again?" Kagetsuchi asked, gesturing towards Sakumo. "His name is Hatake Sakumo," replied the Uzumaki Jonin. "Ah, Hatake Sakumo, take this remaining ninja with you. He has witnessed my battle with the Ninja Alliance army firsthand, and you have experienced it as well," Kagetsuchi said with a smile. Sakumo was filled with a sense of hopelessness, but he knew he had to bring the information about Kagetsuchi back to Konoha and the Hokage. "And tell Mito that I will come to meet her within 1 week," Kagetsuchi added. Sakumo looked at Kagetsuchi one last time, as if trying to imprint his image in his memory before turning and leaving with the surviving ninja. "Uncle, do you think it would be wise to spare his life? He has great potential and could become a powerhouse at Cage level in the future," Mitsuo asked his uncle. "You make a valid point. He does have the potential to become a Cage level powerhouse. However, after today, he will either die of humiliation or work hard to avenge his teammates. Furthermore, we must consider the security of our people. If he attacks anyone from the Uzumaki country, you needn't worry. If he kills any of our people, I will kill thousands in Konoha," Kagetsuchi responded, looking at Mitsuo. "You must be exhausted from the attack on our village and preparing for tonight's celebration. Why don't you rest now, and we can catch up at the celebration," Kagetsuchi suggested. "Thank you, uncle. I will see you at the celebration. Please get some rest as well," Mitsuo replied before leaving with the elders. Kagetsuchi also departed for his old courtyard. "System claim rewards," said Kagetsuchi. "Ding. Congratulations on obtaining Captain Yamamoto's 60% template card." Kagetsuchi chuckled to himself and said, "Well, this is a pleasant surprise. I was planning to go to Konoha and teach them a lesson, but I never thought of doing it in a way that would strike fear into the hearts of the entire ninja world and the Uzumaki family. With this card, I can change my plan. Ding. Congratulations on getting Fire Body Secret Technique. Might Brace Fire Body Secret Technique. The body can turn into fire and can't be hurt by physical attacks, but it can be restrained by water. Might Brace. If a great technique is taught to the clan members, their strength will undergo a qualitative change." He immediately learned this secret technique and decided to give it to Mitsuo during the celebration. Now, due to this secret technique, the Uzumaki country will become renowned for its new ability to control fire. As Kagetsuchi pondered to himself, he considered that the Uzumaki family would be well suited for the secret technique due to their fiery tempers and red hair. Following this, he began meditating on Raijin Jaka, understanding that everything depends on strength and therefore, he must continue to increase his own. As the hours gradually ticked away, the much-anticipated time for celebration drew ever closer. Kagetsuchi, keenly aware of this, made sure to prepare himself accordingly by donning a simple yet elegant attire, consisting of a pristine white kimono and a complimentary blue haori draped over it. With his trusty crutch in hand, he went to the venue for the celebration. A spacious area was chosen for the festivities, one that would provide ample room for every member of the family to partake in the celebration and enjoy themselves to the fullest. "Uncle, please come and take a seat over here," Mitsuo said, leading Kagetsuchi towards a stage that had been specially erected for the occasion. It was designed not only for the celebration, but also to honor Kagetsuchi as the savior who had saved them from a tragic end. The stage had been strategically positioned so that everyone present could see their savior. Taking his seat in the center of the stage, Kagetsuchi spoke up, addressing the crowd. "This is my family, and I will protect them for as long as I live. I won't say much else. So let's all enjoy today's celebration to the fullest, and make the most of this joyous occasion." Kagetsuchi's words were met with cheers and applause from the gathered crowd, and the celebration continued with renewed vigor and excitement. As the festivities were underway, Mitsuo approached Kagetsuchi, accompanied by a little girl. "Uncle," Mitsuo began, "this is my granddaughter, Kishina. Say hello to your grandpa, Kishina." Pointing towards Kagetsuchi, Kishina spoke up with a bright smile on her face. "You're the grandpa I ran into this morning." With a smile, Kagetsuchi chuckled and asked the little girl, "Haha, so did you send people some food?" "Yes, I did," replied Kishina, before adding with a hint of annoyance, "and I'm not a little girl anymore. I've grown up," she declared, her face puffed up in a cute display of indignation. Kagetsuchi laughed heartily. "Ha ha ha, you can't even reach my height when I'm sitting down, and you say you've grown up." Mitsuo interjected, "Kishina, don't be rude. Kagetsuchi is your grandpa and a hero to our family. You should respect him." Kagetsuchi waved his hand dismissively. "It's alright, Mitsuo. Let her speak her mind. After all, she is my granddaughter, isn't she?" he said with a warm smile. Kishina's expression softened as she looked up at Kagetsuchi. "Sorry, Grandpa. I didn't mean to be rude. I just wanted to show you how much I've grown. Kagetsuchi patted her head affectionately. It's alright, my dear. I understand. Now, let's enjoy this celebration together, shall we? Mitsuo was overjoyed at the harmonious relationship between his granddaughter and his uncle Kagetsuchi. Seeing them together, one would never suspect that Kagetsuchi had single-handedly slaughtered an entire ninja army without batting an eyelid. As Kagetsuchi teased Kushina, Mitsuo watched the two with a content smile on his face. It was heartwarming to see his granddaughter and uncle bonding so well. Despite knowing that Kagetsuchi was a formidable warrior who had single-handedly defeated an entire ninja army, he seemed like any ordinary family member at the moment. After a while, Kagetsuchi reached into his pocket and pulled out the booklet. He handed it to Mitsuo and said, "This is a secret technique that I have developed. Take a look at it and give it to our family members and those who are loyal to us. But make sure to cast a curse seal, so that they can't spread this technique, nor can anyone extract it from their minds." As Mitsuo read through the booklet, he was shocked to find that the secret technique was similar to one used by the Hazuki clan, leaders of different clans in Kurigaka. He couldn't find the words to express his gratitude, and could only bow before Kagetsuchi and say, "Thank you, uncle." In response, Kagetsuchi scolded Mitsuo lightly, saying, "Don't always bow before me. You are the patriarch of the Uzumaki clan." And so the celebration continued, with the Uzumaki family coming together to enjoy the day and cherish their bond. After midnight, the festivities in Uzumaki village came to a close, and the revelers slowly made their way back to their homes. At the same time, somewhere in the land of fire, "Rest here for 2 hours. After that, we'll continue our journey," instructed Hatake Sakumo. "Got it," replied Nakamura. Before they both sat down on a nearby tree to rest, Master Whitefang, Nakamura began, his voice heavy with emotion. "I have grave news to deliver. One of my companions, who had just become a father, has fallen in battle. His joy and happiness at the birth of his child have now turned to despair and tragedy. I cannot bear the thought of facing his wife and telling her that her husband will never return home. The weight of this task is almost unbearable, and it makes my legs heavy with reluctance to continue our journey towards Konoha." Sakumo gazed up at the sky, a pained expression on his face. "The Hokage believed in me and placed me in charge of this mission to protect everyone. But now, I am the only one left alive. I may not have known them all personally, but I was responsible for their safety, and yet they still perished. It's a burden that I must carry for the rest of my life." He spoke with a heavy heart. After a moment of silence, Hatake Sakumo suddenly became alert and stood up, his gaze fixed in a single direction. Observing Sakumo's reaction, Nakamura quickly followed suit, rising to his feet and becoming equally vigilant. As they stood guard, Sakumo and Nakamura spotted a team of 3 Kurigaka ninjas. The Kurigaka squad noticed them as well, and the two groups faced each other in tense silence. Sakumo broke the silence with a question. "What are ninjas from Kurigaka doing here in the Fire Country?" he demanded to know. "We are on a mission," replied the leader of the Kurigaka team, his voice cold and confident. "Why don't we just kill them? They're only 3 people," whispered one of the Kurigaka ninja into the leader's ear. The leader of the Kurigaka team listened intently and then grinned wickedly, clearly amused by the suggestion. Sakumo, who was a Quasi-Kage level ninja, heard the whisper from the Kurigaka ninja, and immediately drew his short sword. His instincts were honed, and he was prepared for whatever the enemy squad might throw at him. "Head towards Konoha. I will take care of them," instructed Sakumo to Nakamura. He knew he had to finish this battle before it caused any more damage, and he was determined to do it alone. Nakamura hesitated for a moment, but then, trusting his leader's abilities, he nodded and left to follow Sakumo's orders. Sakumo moved swiftly through the forest, his sword at the ready. The 3 ninjas from Kurigaka emerged from the shadows, their eyes glinting in the moonlight. The first ninja raised his hands and created a massive wall of earth, blocking Sakumo's path. Undeterred, Sakumo used Wind Style, Wind Blade Jutsu to slice through the earth wall and continue his charge. The second ninja leaped forward and launched Water Style, Water Shark Bullet Jutsu, sending a fast-moving stream of water shaped like a shark towards Sakumo. Sakumo quickly dodged to the side, narrowly avoiding the attack. As the water crashed into the trees behind him, several of them toppled over, crashing to the ground with a thunderous roar. Meanwhile, the third ninja used Earth Style, Earth Release, Earth Flow Divide to split the ground beneath Sakumo's feet, causing him to stumble. Seizing the opportunity, the ninja charged forward, kunai in hand. But Sakumo quickly recovered and used his lightning-fast swordsmanship to parry the attack and strike the ninja down. The first ninja unleashed another jutsu, Earth Style, Earth Release, Earth Flow Divide, splitting the ground beneath Sakumo once again. But this time, Sakumo was prepared. He used Thunder Style, Thunder Blade Jutsu to create a sword made of lightning, which he used to cut through the earth and land a blow on the second ninja, injuring him badly. As the third ninja circled for another attack, Sakumo used Wind Style, Wind Blade Jutsu to slice through several nearby trees, causing them to fall and block the ninja's path. The ninja quickly darted around the fallen trees, but as he did, Sakumo charged forward and used his swordsmanship to strike a fatal blow. With 2 of the Kurigaka ninjas defeated, only 1 remained. But this ninja was a skilled water user, and he launched water style. Water release. Great Shark Missile Jutsu, sending a massive, powerful shark-shaped stream of water towards Sakumo. The force of the attack was too much, and Sakumo was knocked off his feet, landing hard on his left shoulder. Gritting his teeth against the pain, Sakumo slowly rose to his feet, his sword at the ready. The final ninja charged forward, kunai in hand, but Sakumo was ready. Using Thunder Style, Thunder Blade Jutsu, he created a sword made of lightning and clashed with the ninja in a fierce battle. But Sakumo's skill was too much for the ninja, and in the end, Sakumo emerged victorious. As the battle ended, the forest was in shambles. Trees had been cut down, the ground was torn apart, and the bodies of the defeated ninjas lay scattered around the clearing. Sakumo's left shoulder throbbed with pain, but he knew he had emerged victorious. With a weary sigh, he sheathed his sword and began the long journey back toward Konoha. Amid a dense forest, Nakamura and the other ninja faced off in a battle that would determine the victor. Nakamura was armed with his formidable fire-style ninjutsu, and his mastery of the 3-body technique. Meanwhile, the other ninja wielded a sharp sword and sea-level water release. The battle started with the other ninja charging at Nakamura with his sword. However, Nakamura's substitution technique allowed him to dodge the attack and counter with his fire release. Flame Bullet Ninjutsu. The other ninja managed to dodge the flames, but was caught off guard by Nakamura's fire release. Mist Blaze Dance Technique, which created a thick cloud of smoke obscuring the other ninja's vision. After that, as Nakamura added a fire, the whole smoke caught fire. Taking advantage of the unpreparedness of the other ninja, Nakamura closed in on the other ninja and launched his fire release. Dragon Fire Technique. He wasn't that proficient in it. The blast of fire was so powerful that it caused a small explosion, and in the process, Nakamura lost his left hand. But it was enough to defeat the other ninja, who fainted from the impact of the blast. Despite his injuries, Nakamura emerged victorious. His 3-body technique allowed him to evade the other ninja's attacks and land decisive blows. And his mastery of the fire style ninjutsu proved too much for the other ninja to handle. However, the cost of victory was high, as Nakamura had lost his left hand in the process, and for a ninja, his arm is very important. A few minutes later, Sakumo caught up and witnessed Nakamura's wretched state. Sakumo suggested, "We should hurry towards Konoha to get you treated." Nakamura gave a nod and headed towards Konoha. As the first rays of sunlight illuminated the sky, Sakumo and Nakamura entered Konoha. "We've finally made it," Nakamura said before fainting. Sakumo caught him just in time and rushed him to the Konoha hospital for treatment. At the same time, inside Hokage's office, Lord Hokage, Captain Sakumo has returned to Konoha, but he's not with his team. Instead, he's accompanied by another ninja named Nakamura, who was part of the team responsible for monitoring Uzumaki country. Both of them have sustained injuries, reported the Anbu member as he knelt before the Hokage. "Very well. Bring them to my office," instructed 3rd Hokage Sarutobi Hiruzen. After entering Konoha, Nakamura fainted, and the captain took him to the Konoha hospital, reported the Anbu member. "Thank you for informing me. You may leave now. I will go to the hospital myself to speak with Sakumo," said Sarutobi Hiruzen as he prepared to leave for the hospital. However, before he could leave, a man with one eye entered his office. Shimura Danzo, the leader of Root. "Hiruzen, I heard that Sakumo has returned," said Danzo. "Yes, I'm on my way to the hospital to meet with him," replied Sarutobi Hiruzen. "I'll come with you," offered Danzo. Sarutobi Hiruzen simply nodded in response, and quickly made his way to the Konoha hospital, with Danzo following closely behind. Eventually, they arrived at the Konoha hospital. "Can you tell me where Sakumo is?" asked Sarutobi Hiruzen of a nurse. "Over there," the nurse pointed to one of the rooms. Sarutobi with Danzo went inside the room and saw Sakumo being treated. After seeing Hokage enter, Sakumo wanted to get up, but was stopped by Sarutobi Hiruzen. "What happened? Why are you alone, and where are your teammates?" Danzo asked without showing any concern for Sakumo's injuries. "Danzo, can't you see that he's injured?" Sarutobi chastised. "Shem PH, as a ninja, he's bound to get injured. So why sympathize with him?" Danzo remarked callously. Sarutobi glared at Danzo, appalled by his lack of empathy for a fellow shinobi. "We are all human beings first, Danzo. As leaders, it is our responsibility to care for our subordinates and ensure their well-being," he retorted sternly. "I agree with Lord Danzo. My injuries are not that serious, and I can speak," Sakumo said, acknowledging Danzo's earlier statement. "Alright, if you're feeling up to it, please tell us what happened, and where are the other Anbu members who were with you?" Sarutobi asked, turning his attention back to Sakumo. "As per your orders, I traveled to Uzumaki country with my team to retrieve all the sealing techniques and bring any orphans back to Konoha. However, upon arriving, we discovered that the Uzumaki country had successfully defended against the alliance army of 3 major villages. We were then discovered by a Uzumaki ninja team, and I represented us as support sent by Konoha for Uzumaki country. However, due to their abilities with the Kagura heart, they saw through our ruse and learned our true intentions. I still maintain that we were there to support Uzumaki, as accepting otherwise would not have benefited either of us. But then, I discovered that they had captured all the spies sent by the major villages to monitor Uzumaki's country, including 8 spies sent by Konoha. They were about to execute everyone except for 1 person from each village. But I couldn't simply stand by and watch my fellow Konoha villagers be killed. I tried to reason with them that such actions would make them enemies of Konoha, but they refused to listen. So, we attempted to save them by force. But the man leading the Uzumaki forces was too powerful. He easily defeated my team, and I was unable to even scratch him, Sakumo recounted, his guilt causing him to lower his head and avoid eye contact with the Hokage. As they processed Sakumo's words, both Sarutobi and Danzo couldn't help but feel a sense of awe and fear toward the Uzumaki clan. They knew firsthand the strength of the major villages, and if they were to attack the Uzumaki village, it was almost certain that the Uzumaki clan would be wiped out. Yet, here they were, not only surviving, but also possessing a powerhouse who could effortlessly defeat a team of 20 skilled ninjas. Even Sarutobi himself was unsure if he could come out unscathed in such a battle. Sakumo's voice betrayed his despair, and Sarutobi could sense the guilt he was feeling for not being able to protect his team. It was clear that the man who defeated them was on a completely different level, and they needed to tread carefully around the Uzumaki clan. Taking a deep breath, Sarutobi inquired, "May I know the name of this man?" Sakumo took a deep breath before answering. The man's name is Uzumaki Kagetsuchi. After we arrived in Uzumaki country, we investigated how the Uzumaki family managed to escape their demise. The results were shocking, as every member of the family spoke of how Uzumaki Kagetsuchi single-handedly defeated an army of 4,500 ninjas. At first, we found it hard to believe, but after witnessing the strength of Uzumaki Kagetsuchi myself, I now believe that he is capable of such a feat. And for the details of battle you have to wait for Nakamura to wake up. As Sarutobi Hiruzen was about to speak further, a woman with red hair and a hexagonal mark between her eyebrows interrupted him. "What name did you just say?" she asked. Mito-sama. Everyone present in the room bowed towards her. Even Sakumo, who was sitting down, quickly stood up and bowed. Mito asked, "Is he skilled in fire-style jutsu?" "Indeed, he can use fire-style jutsu effortlessly, as if he can control the flames," replied Sakumo with respect in his tone. "Mito-sama, do you happen to know him?" inquired Sarutobi Hiruzen. "Certainly, I know him. He is my uncle, after all. You may not be aware of his true name, but you must have heard of his other name, Fire God," Mito said. "Yes, the Fire God who destroyed the Tetsuyakin clan, which had 1 cage-level powerhouse," said Danzo. Everyone listened intently as Mito spoke, even though it was narrated in that way. If I were to compare their strength to a clan, it would be the combined strength of the Sarutobi and Shimura clans during the Warring States period. And now, your clan's strength is far weaker compared to that period. So, do not undermine his feat. He attacked that clan alone, and even announced his motive beforehand to take revenge for his son's death. They even prepared for his attack, and had their secret technique of controlling metals, yet they were still destroyed. This should give you an idea of how powerful he truly was. "So tell me, did he say anything for me?" asked Mito, looking at Sakumo. "He just said that he will come to Konoha to meet you personally," said Sakumo. After nodding, Mito left. Danzo and Hiruzen looked at each other after listening to the words of Uzumaki Mito. Even though Mito didn't say anything targeting their clan, but from her tone, it can be felt how much she disdained the strength of the Sarutobi and Shimura clan. If someone else said what that said, then they might have retorted. But the person who spoke is a perfect Jinchuriki of 9 tails, and wife of ninja god Senju Hashirama. After watching Mito leave after a long time, Danzo spoke, "HMPH till when her clan is going to live anyway." Sarutobi Hiruzen glared at Danzo. Seeing this, Danzo immediately shut up. Sarutobi Hiruzen then looked towards Sakumo and said, "Sakumo, rest well. I know what you are feeling, but you have to be brave and work hard to take revenge for your comrades." After saying this, Sarutobi Hiruzen left and called Anbu and said, "Go call the head of the intelligence department to meet me right now." "Yes." After saying this, Anbu member left. Sarutobi Hiruzen and Danzo went to the ward where Nakamura was being treated, and waited outside till the head of the intelligence department came. The head was from Yamanaka clan, Yamanaka Noki. "Hokage-sama, what are your orders?" said Yamanaka Noki. "You see the person lying on the hospital bed extract his memories of the past 5 days," said Sarutobi Hiruzen. "Yes." After saying that, he went to Nakamura and started to read his memories of the past 5 days. After watching his memory, Yamanaka Noki was covered in a cold sweat with a clear fear on his face. He was gasping for air. "What did you see that made you so fearful?" asked Danzo. After calming down, Yamanaka Noki spoke. I can't describe what I saw. I can only show you what I saw from his memories. Then show. As Danzo was saying, he was interrupted by Sarutobi Hiruzen. You don't have to show now. We will talk about it during the high-level meeting. Sarutobi Hiruzen then turned towards the Anbu and spoke, go call all the elite jonins and patriarch of the families for an urgent meeting. Yes, after saying that, Anbu member left. After the Anbu member left to inform everyone, Sarutobi also went back to his office with Danzo. As everyone got orders to assemble for a meeting, every elite jonin and patriarch of the family moved in the direction of the Hokage building for the meeting. Within 2 hours, everyone was present in the meeting room in the Hokage building. At this time, Sarutobi Hiruzen also entered with Danzo, Kahari Utatane, Homura Mitakado, and sat on the main seat. Many of you might have known that Uzumaki family was attacked by 3 major villages. But due to lack of manpower, we were unable to send troops to help the Uzumaki family. The latest news is that the Uzumaki family has survived, and not only that, but there is a very powerful person present in Uzumaki family. So today's meeting is to discuss our further approach, said Sarutobi Hiruzen. Hokage-sama, who is that person? Asked Uchiha Satsuna, current patriarch of the Uchiha family. His name is Uzumaki Kagetsuchi, uncle of Mito-sama, and he is also known as Fire God, said Sarutobi Hiruzen. After listening to this name, everyone was confused because no one have heard of this name. But some old ninja and family patriarchs knew about the name Fire God, and share the reason why Uzumaki Kagetsuchi was named this. After listening to the explanation of old ninjas, everyone calmed down. Sing everyone countdown, said Captain Yamanaka Noki. Please show us what you saw in the memory of Nakamura. Yamanaka Noki nodded and used his jutsu on everyone, and showed the memories of the first scene was how Uzumaki Kagetsuchi alone destroyed the whole army of 4,500 ninjas from 3 major villages. Second was the scene when everyone from the team of Sakumo was killed without any effort by Uzumaki Kagetsuchi. Everyone present in the room can feel how powerful Kagetsuchi is, and the destruction of the army of 3 major villages for him seemed easy. How can such an old man be this powerful? Said a boy with white hair. He is none other than Jiraiya. Can you do this, sensei? Asked Jiraiya. Sarutobi Hiruzen's face twitched after listening to Jiraiya. He can't say that he can't achieve this feat in any way. You mustn't have called us only for this, right, Hokage-sama? Asked Narashinichi. Yes, we also learned that he is coming to Konoha within a few days maybe. So we have to be prepared. You know, we didn't support Uzumaki village as an ally, so he might resent towards Konoha. So from today, Konoha will be on high alert, said Sarutobi Hiruzen in a serious tone. If he attacks a jonin, wanted to show his concern after seeing the power of Uzumaki Kagetsuchi. Don't worry, Mito-sama will make a move if things escalated to that point, Sarutobi Hiruzen said. After hearing this, everyone present in the meeting room felt relieved. If Mito-sama makes a move, then we will be saved, said one jonin. Yeah. With Mito-sama present here, no one can do anything in Konoha, said another jonin. Okay, if nothing else, today's meeting is over, said Sarutobi Hiruzen. After listening to Sarutobi Hiruzen's words, everyone left. But no one saw Sarutobi Hiruzen's fist clenched under the table. After everyone left, only Sarutobi Hiruzen, Danzo, Kahari Utatane, and Homura Mitakado were left in the meeting room. Hiruzen, you saw that right? No one believes in you, but believes in her. That family will become a hindrance if not removed, said Danzo. Now is not the time, said Sarutobi Hiruzen. Ninja world is getting restless, and war may break out in a few years, so people die in war, continued Sarutobi Hiruzen. After listening to the words of Sarutobi Hiruzen, everyone present in the meeting room smiled. Yes, that will be the time when every unstable factor can be removed, said Kahari Utatane. Okay, leave. Today's meeting shall come to an end here, said Sarutobi Hiruzen. And that concludes part 3. The story will continue in the next part. If you liked what you watched, let us know by giving us a thumbs up, subscribing to the channel, and hitting the notification bell to ensure you don't miss the next part. Have a great day. This is On the Sensei signing off.
Never tell a fact that I never stay running. Sipping on facts, damn, no, I got stacks to the left. Taking bitches straight for another cat.